What is going on, people inside the internet machine? Welcome to this episode of the Pickups. It's trade show week, so let's get rolling. All right, so normally I wouldn't show this off because it's not like game related. And I know some of you guys don't like when I show non-game related pickups, But I was at this garage sale and this lady had this whole stack of, it was like a box of Prolon vintage dishware. Now, she said she had it at the flea market for 50 bucks and, she had to shut down her booth because she couldn't get over there and they were raising the rates and all this stuff. She had $25 on the box. And I said, listen, what's the get it out of here now price? I'm not gonna haggle with you, just whatever the best price is, I'll probably just end up taking it. And she was like, how about 15 bucks? I was like, okay. If you have no idea what Prolon looks like, it's cups and dishes that look like this. They're kind of pastel. They will say Prolon on the bottom, okay? But these are from like the 50s and the 60s. Here's like a 5.5-inch plate. There's like 9 or 10 of those. Here's like a serving dish. Whatever. But it's cool. I like that kind of stuff. Prolon was a company that started in like the 1850s. They were like experimenting with plastics and they made these like plastic brushes. And then in the 40s, they started making plates and stuff. And what their idea is they took all the melamine that was really cheap after the 1920s, like into the 1930s, and they bought like hundreds of millions of pounds of this stuff because they knew they were going to use it to make these plastics. So they had an abundance of materials and they just started cranking out these plates, these cups. There's a creamer pourer, a sugar dish. I have a sugar bowl with the lid, casserole dishes. They just started cranking this stuff out. And their idea was like, we can sell this stuff to mom or dad for, like $1. But what we really want to do is get it into hospitals, schools, government facilities, government lunchrooms. And they did, and they made a ton of money back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even into the 80s. I think the company went bankrupt somewhere around 2005, but yeah, this is a really cool blast from the past. So for $15, like I said, there's another 9 dishes over there. There's all kinds of stuff. There's a big box. But yeah, 15 bucks, wasn't gonna pass that up. That's stuff that I can list on my eBay store, and maybe make a couple bucks. But it's really neat seeing that stuff out there. I also hit up St. Vincent de Paul. It was like whatever the color tags were. It's like one yellow was 30%, no, purple was 30% off, yellow was 50% off, and blue tag was 99 cents. So basically when I go in there, I'm looking for the 99-cent tag and I'm looking at half off tags. But we found some good stuff. Got some Nike shirts, all of that. I was gonna save this for the trade show, but I couldn't. One, I'm like super impatient. And two, I kind of want to play this game because I haven't played it yet. Josh, formerly the Woodbury and Retro Game Hunter, now Nature's Own, longtime friend, said that he probably won't be able to make it to the trade show, but he did have a game that I wanted, so he sent it to me. So I owe you a game, Josh. When you see a game that you need, let me know, and that is Metal Slug 5 on the PS2, and I needed that because here's my copy of Metal Slug 4 and 5 on the PS2, and as you can see, I am missing disc 5, so I tell you what, Josh, I've been looking for this disc for a long time. Look at that. Boom and kaboom. Turn my manual around backwards. If you're new to the CM Retro Show, we do that for a reason. Somebody in the comments section will help you out. So we got an empty PlayStation case. Man, I'll save that for sure. Complete copy of Metal Slug 4 and 5 on the PS2, which I will keep, but I do have a copy of Metal Slug 4 and 5 on the original Xbox, complete, really nice condition, some light scratches on disc 5, but I will throw this in the trade show trade pile. Isn't that exciting? So the live trade show will be Saturday, August 24th, which is my birthday, on my channel at 8 p.m. And basically the YouTubers, we jump in there, we trade games. I actually have some decent stuff this year, so I'm excited. Maybe we can work out some really good trades, some big trades. Yeah, I think Tyler might be coming over around 6:30 or so, 7 o'clock. We'll get things set up, have a couple beers, get all the games and stuff set out that are up for trade. And we usually drink beer, trade games, and tell war stories, game hunting war stories throughout the entire night. So it'll be a long night. It'll be awesome. Was at St. Vincent de Paul again. Purple tag. It was $3.99, so it was 30% off, so $1.20 off. A Zelda Nintendo Switch case. Again, I don't need a Nintendo Switch case, but I'll get the lint roller out. I'll clean that all up, and I'll throw that in the trade pile. If it doesn't sell, then I'll just throw that on my eBay store. I actually walked into Goodwill yesterday, and they had some decently priced PS2 games. These were $2.99 a piece, which I thought was a pretty good price. Star Wars Battlefront complete. And there's my receipt, which I will put in my tax box. But yeah, Battlefront, not an expensive game, pretty common game, but it's one of those games like if you sell a console, this is a good one to bundle, you know, with a console. Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects, missing the manual. And then I thought I had this one, War of the Monsters. Now I'm definitely down to trade this. It's missing the manual, but it does have the poster. So that's awesome. So I don't know if somebody wants to come to a trade show and they have the manual for this. I will definitely trade for the manual, or if you want the game and the poster, I'd probably trade that too. I didn't realize this was like a $20-something game, but anyway, I'm losing my mind here. Grabbed a couple DVDs. Got Pumpkinhead Collector's Edition. Never seen Pumpkinhead. And then I got Fantasia Live in Tokyo. It's Asia live from Tokyo. And I thought I could fix this disc, but it's got a pretty gnarly scratch in it. So I might have to actually take this one back up to Goodwill and trade it back in. Swung by Maxine's bargain box. Tyler was asking about my Xbox controllers, original Xbox. So I grabbed the box, I pulled them out, and I had 4 of them. I have a Duke and then 3 S controllers, and then I've got an S controller in another box where I have the console. But I was missing one of the breakaway cables, so I got a breakaway cable at Maxine's for $4. And because I paid in cash, you get like 10% off or 20% off or something. He charged me like $3.12, so he actually gave me like 25% off. But you can never have too many of those breakaway cables. And, you know, we were at Maxine's, Tyler and I, and they had Deadpool for $360 on the shelf for $20. And that's like a $65, $75 game right now. So I go over to Dave. I asked Tyler, I said, are you going to buy this to resell? And he's like, no. And I'm like, I don't want to buy it to resell either. I'm just kind of lazy. Got a trade show coming up. Ain't got time for that. So I took it over to Dave, the owner. And I said, hey, man, just so you know, this game's going for like 3.5 times what you have it for. So Tyler and I are standing there, and he walks up and gives us a $15 in-store credit and just like, hey, thanks for letting me know. And he put like $60 on it or whatever, put it in the case. So with my half of the $15, I got Lock's Quest on the PS4. That's a little bit of a gaming faux pas here. I always thought this game was like Zelda, like you walk around and you have to explore and you go into dungeons. This is not. This is more of a builders type game, tower defense type situation. So yeah, I probably won't be playing that. I'll throw it in the trade show pile just in case anybody wants it. And if not, I'll just throw it in my PS4 box. But this is not a game that I see a lot. I'm not going to say it's rare or uncommon. It's just a game that I don't see. You know what I mean? All right, so I went to Goodwill today. It was half off. Grabbed some movies just because they were $1. Desperado, the special edition. I haven't seen this movie in forever, but I love this movie as a kid. You know, these Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez movies from the mid-90s, early 2000s, man. You can't beat them. And, you know, Salma Hayek is the most beautiful woman that has ever graced God's green earth, man. She is smoking hot. I got a gift from Dusk Till Dawn as well. I haven't seen this movie in a long time. Damon Wayans' Blank Man. I've never seen this on DVD or VHS or anything. And I was just talking about this to somebody. I forget who, but it was one of those movies that my parents, for whatever reason, let my little brother and I go see in the theater, which was crazy. I also picked up The Jerk and Eddie Murphy Raw sealed. Again, they were $1, and they're $5 DVDs, so I listed those on my eBay store. They had a couple games, Lego Dimensions. The only reason I picked this up, it was $1, and it's got the insert and everything in there. The disc is nice and clean, and you know, again, another $5 or $6 game, not a high dollar game, but I'll add it to the eBay inventory, and I have one on my eBay store, so all I got to do is just go in there and edit and put quantity to 2, and it's already listed. Back in the DVD section, they had Path of Neo, just the disc on PS2. Again, it was $1, I don't know why they priced it at a DVD price, but looking at the disc, I was like, wow, this disc is kind of nice for a GameStop game that's been probably passed and trashed around. But yeah, so we're at the flea market today, and one of the vendors walks up. He knows I like Micro Machines. He goes, hey, I had this sitting over there for a long time. No one wants it. No one's interested in it. And I know you like Micro Machines, so I thought I'd just give it to you. And this is actually not Micro Machines. This was made by a company called Imperial in 1989. Micro Machine craze, man. A lot of companies made miniaturized cars. Funrise, Road Champs, even Hot Wheels and Matchbox started making miniature cars. Of course, you could get Micro Machines. Kenner did the Mega Space Force or Mega Force. But yeah, there were a bunch of companies that made small cars, and Imperial was one of them. And they made this little, stealth bomber look-alike to put vehicles and stuff in. And he just gave it to me, so I thought that was super nice. And while I was there, I picked up a copy of Total Recall on the Nintendo. I don't have this game, obviously, that's why I bought it. But this is by far the cleanest copy of Total Recall that I have seen in a long time. Common game, it was only $8, but I thought I'm gonna pick this up, and I got to my 100th Nintendo game this year, and I've beaten a lot of Nintendo games, a lot of the Marios, all the Marios really, the Ninja Gaidens, Castlevanias, all that stuff. But I don't know why I want to play some of these like janky, pain in the butt, LJN and Acclaim titles, So I'll be looking for more Schwarzenegger games. I need Predator, I know that one. I'm kind of looking for Rambo, so you can bring that to the trade show. But I think when I watch football on the TV, I like to hook up my Nintendo or Super Nintendo or some other console to the Sharp and play games that way while I'm watching football. And I thought this would be a great game to play during that time. So Tyler and I did a trade. I actually just wrapped up Need for Speed Heat. And I gotta say, it got out of the starting blocks a little slow, but underneath it, when you get kind of past that first couple of hour marks where you're able to upgrade, buy a better car, start to win some races, earn some cash, get your reputation points up, the game is surprisingly fun. And there's, a 10 to 15 hour story mode, which is what I beat. And then there's just countless other hours of do whatever you want. Customization options, cars to unlock. It's an incredible game. And I actually put on my third favorite arcade racer of all time. Hydro Thunder, Horizon Chase Turbo, Need for Speed Heat. It actually bumped out Need for Speed Rivals. But, Tyler wanted, so I traded that for an original Xbox controller. Tyler needed one of those. And we traded some other stuff. Picked up a copy of Wizards and Warriors. This is Iron Sword Wizards and Warriors 1 or whatever this is. Again, another Acclaim title, but this one was sort of done by Rare. And while I'm not trying to get all of the Rareware titles on the Nintendo because I love Rare so much, I knew that this game, you get unlimited continues. It's kind of a fun little exploration platformer type game. It's a Wizards and Warriorvania. That's what it is. But I knew I would get through that game either this year or next year when I go on my Nintendo kick again, where all I want to do is play Nintendo games. And then a game that Mr. Matthews was talking about on one of his Good, the Bad, and the Game Boy episodes. And when he said it was kind of difficult, I knew I had to have it. It is Skate or Die Bad and Rad on the Game Boy. Now, apparently, it's frustratingly difficult. And, there's like 4 or 5 levels. And then after you can kind of play those in any order, then you play levels 5, 6, and 7. So we will see. I will hook up the Game Boy player and we'll play some Bad and Rad. Thanks to Mr. Matthews, who's known for beating hard games. He beat Adventure Island. No Death Ran Silver Surfer. He's an authority on the subject. So yeah, Bad and Rad, incredible. Last thing I traded Tyler, I traded my PS1 console, my ONE console, for a sealed copy of Animal Crossing on the Switch, which is a game that my daughter wanted. So, that console was a double for me. I've had it sitting around for a while. Figure why not let it go. And, it's funny because I threw in a Need for Speed game. I gave Tyler a Need for Speed game. And on the back, it literally says 9 cars to collect and customize, and I'm thinking like Need for Speed Heat has like over 130 cars, how far we've come in gaming. So if that's all for the pickups, if that's what you're here for and you don't want to stick around, I'm going to talk about the trade show a little bit, how it's sort of going to work. But if that's all, we'll see you guys on the next one. We'll catch you on the next video. If you are planning on participating or being at the trade show, stick around and I will sort of explain to you how this whole thing works. All right, so for those of you who are left, let's talk trade show. I get questions about how does this actually work? And the past trade shows, the live streams are on my channel, so if you want to go check them out, you can kind of see how they work. But I'll try to explain it the best I can. I'll pop up StreamYard. I'll drop the link in the description. StreamYard has a backstage area. You can pop into the backstage area, and when your camera's turned on and your mic's on, you're ready to go, I will put you into the actual live stream. Now, years ago on Google Hangout, when there was no backstage area, you'd pop somebody in the stream and then all of a sudden a giant wiener or a butt would pop up. So if you do that, I will block you, ban you, report you to the FBI, and I'm sure YouTube will take care of you. So let's just try and be mature. All right, nope. You can be in the backstage area, not be seen on the live stream. If we're not turning on cameras to see you, people want to say hi to you, if people want to meet you, you're probably not going to get in the live stream unless we already kind of know who you are, you know? So that's sort of how the StreamYard aspect of that's going to work. Understand that you may come in and be like, I've got these games and nobody wants them. You can pop out and someone may pop in and say, hey, yeah, I was looking for those games. Then you can pop back in and you guys can work out a trade. People trade games in the comment section, which is not uncommon. So that's also very cool, but that's sort of a very simplified explanation on how the stream is actually going to work. So the last part of the spiel here is we have some guidelines, okay? I will tell them to you now, and I'll have them in written form in the description section of the stream. The first one is you are responsible for your own trades. The overwhelming majority, there's only been one time in the history of the trade show where I found out about a YouTuber and another YouTuber made a trade and this YouTuber didn't send the stuff back. I don't know what's going on with that. It's unfortunate that happened, and it's not acceptable. If you are making a deal and you're like, hey, here's my address, and you give them your address, package the stuff up nicely, send them a copy, a picture of the tracking number, and let them know. Most of us will know each other, okay? So we probably already have each other's information. You gotta let people know. Here's communication. You gotta let people know, dude, I want to trade you this game. Cool, let's trade. How do I get a hold of you? Because YouTube doesn't have a messenger anymore. So you'll have to tell somebody, hey, I'm CM Retro Gaming on YouTube. You can hit me up at CM Retro Gaming on Twitter or just under my name, Chris Miller, on Facebook, okay? You can use their messaging systems to work out the details. So that's sort of how that portion works. Sometimes people in the chat will trade games, but like I said, really what's gonna happen is people are gonna jump in, they're gonna show a bunch of stuff. Maybe there's no trades going on at that time. They can jump out, someone else jumps in, says, hey, I want this. You can then jump back in and say, hey, yeah, these are the Nintendo games I got. You interested in any of these? These are the PlayStation games I have. Do you want some of these? Sure, let's swap. And then you're responsible for reaching out to that person and getting their details and sending stuff to them. Now, one other question that sort of is with that is, what if we live in a different country? Can we participate? Yes. If the person that you're trading with is willing to ship internationally. It's a little bit more expensive to ship internationally. So because it costs so much to ship internationally, you may want to throw in an extra item or two for the person. Like, hey, do you need these 2 common Nintendo games? I appreciate you shipping it to me. I'll throw these in for you. You know, don't be afraid to throw in extras. But you have to communicate that out individually. For me, I would probably ship to like Canada. You know, if somebody wanted to throw in an extra game or two to cover the shipping costs. But again, that would be communicated. So communication is key. It's hot under these lights. Okay, you're responsible for your own trade. Communication is key, and in the history of the entire live trade show, we've only had one bad incident. Very unfortunate, regrettable, and it's unacceptable, like I said. The second thing is, and sometimes I have to remind people of this, But know what your stuff is worth, have a reasonable expectation of what you want for it. Don't be offended if someone doesn't want your stuff. And don't be one of these people that's like, well, on price charting, this game goes for $162.37. So I want exactly that. It's not gonna work out for you. I have a copy of Demon's Crest. It's like $130, $150 game. Show me a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, or some other game that's in that ballpark. That's gonna be yours, because most of this stuff I have nothing into or very little into that I can afford to give someone a good deal. Don't be afraid to give someone a good deal or throw in extras, especially if it's a game that you want. Say Retro Bro has, you know, a game that I want, I will probably over trade for it. So if it's like a $100 game, hey, you want this, it's like $120 worth of stuff. You want that? Boom, there you go. Because I want that game more. So you have to kind of put things into perspective, all right? Know what your stuff is worth, have a reasonable expectation of value and what you're willing to accept for it. Don't be offended if somebody doesn't want to trade you. So, responsible for your own trades, communicate, know what your stuff's worth, right? That whole thing. The other thing that I want to talk about, and this came up in a question, I guess. It's never really come up in practice. Most of us, like I said, know each other. But what happens, we're circling back around, if you don't know that person? Cool. If it's maybe just a viewer that you don't know, somebody that watches my channel, your channel, whatever, and they want to trade with you, feel free to make trades. But if you're the person that's sort of the unknown, don't be offended if someone's like, hey dude, can you send me your item first, the item that you're sending me first, and then I'll send you yours back. It's nothing personal, it's just that I don't know you, and I don't want to get scammed and all that stuff. I think that is reasonable, all right? And if that is not okay with you, if that's not acceptable to you, then maybe you aren't going to work out a trade with that person. If it's like a $10 game or something, I'll probably just ship that right out to you that next Monday. You know what I mean? And send you a picture. But, you know, when we're talking about trading a couple $100 worth of games or some rare stuff, again, it's not your fault. It's not anybody else's fault. Don't take it personally. Don't be offended. And if you're not down for that, then that's okay. I think you know that if you send me something, say I trade my Demon's Crest and I don't really know you, and you've got a copy of, I don't know, like Mega Man 5 or something on Nintendo, which is, I guess, about that same value. And I'm like, dude, can you just send me that Mega Man 5 first? It's not that, again, I just don't know you. And you say, yeah, sure, and you send it to me, and I'm going to open it, check it, boom, I will send you out your Demon's Crest right away. I think I've built up that type of equity within the community that you don't have to worry about me not sending you something. I will always send you something, and I got a lot of little extras and stuff I'm going to put in this here, stickers and whatever. Anyway, that's beside the point. Just don't get offended if like people don't know you and they want you to send those items first. And really, you're building up your equity. So in future trade shows or future communications, you know, people are like, oh yeah, I traded with that dude at CM's trade show. He's a good dude, man. He sent that thing out like the next day. So those are just some of like the basic guidelines, common sense stuff. If you're, you know, gonna ship a Asia live from Japan, you could probably bubble this up a little bit, put it in a bubble mailer and send it. But if I'm sending you Demon's Crest, package it appropriately, bubble wrap it, box it, do all those things. You know, that should not, I shouldn't have to say that, but I feel like I need to say that. Other than that, the trade show is going to be a blast. Like I said, I think Tyler's coming over, and you know, we're gonna have some beers, we're gonna hang out on live stream, talk about games. Very, very exciting stuff. Usually make a handful of trades. I do. And other YouTubers make a handful of trades. It's good. We always do a drink when a trade is made. So let's try not to do 37 trades in the first hour, because that's a lot of shots. But anyway, guys, don't let any of that scare you. The trade show always goes off awesomely, except, like I said, that one example. The other live streams are on my channel, so if you want to check that out, make sure that you check those out so you can kind of be aware of how it works. But other than that, I look forward to seeing everybody there Saturday, August 21st, my birthday. I forgot my birthday. August 24th, 8 p.m. at my channel. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the next one.
I never miss, that's fact. Taking big swings, put your hand to the bat. Put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag. Cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took a red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to